Hey guys, how you all doing? Thank you so much. My goodness, we've got a lot of people here. Just going to give people a couple more minutes before we get started, because once we get started on the subject of cannibalization, there is literally going to be no stopping me. This is a subject that's so close to my heart, subject I've studied intensely, really, for probably about 18 to 20 years. So, yeah, numbers are racking up. So I'm just trying to see who we've got in here. Okay, bunch of people I do recognize, lots of people I don't recognize. So if you've never come to a Shed event before, thank you so much for spending this time on a Friday afternoon if you're in the UK, Friday evening if you are further that direction, or if you're from the US, good morning to you all. Right, another 30 seconds and then we'll get started. Again, gosh, my screen is full. So it's been a while since we did a broadcast from the Shed, and in the background we've got Holly and Megan, not in the background of the Shed, but in the background on the internet in space somewhere, who are going to be helping out with questions and stuff like that. And I would encourage questions and chat and commentary as we go through. I hope you can all see the chat box on the right hand side. And there is also a question box as well, but just pop it in the chat. In fact, why not just say hello and let us know where you're from, especially if you're not from the UK. Okay, so okay, 2 minutes past. Wonderful. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, I'm John Earnshaw. I'm the Chief Product Evangelist, co-founder at Datametrics. I've been working in search for as long as I can ever remember, and this is probably, as I say, the subject within search that is closest to my heart. This crash course, we've broadcast from the Shed before, but this is the first time we've run a crash course, and we have initially planned 4 sessions running every other week on a Friday. But if there is demand, then we will keep this going. So I would say as we go through, I encourage questions, I encourage commentary. If you want to ask a question, we can unmute you and you can ask that, and then we can see if we can answer your question live. I'm going to try and offer some prizes as well as we go through. There will also be some polls. So in terms of the structure of this series, as I say, 4 webinars or elements to this crash course. And I tell you what, anybody who comes to the entire 4 of these, who stays the part, who maybe interacts, I'm going to offer certificates to say that you have in fact attended and successfully completed an SEO crash course with John Earnshaw, and you can stick that proudly on your LinkedIn. I think that would look rather nice. I might put one on there myself. But anyway, today is all about cannibalization. I wasn't going to start with cannibalization, but due to demand, you know, when you ask people, what do you really want to know about? What do you want to fix? Everybody came back and said cannibalization. Today, identifying and fixing it. 2 weeks time, how do you prevent it? This is all about contextual optimization, and that is also a subject so close to my heart. 3, we're going to look at SERP features. We're going to talk about SERP 0. If anybody attended Brighton SEO last Friday and Thursday, then we're going to expand out on that very topic. And then finally, we're going to get into AI, ChatGPT, and how you can use this within SEO. But today, let's bring it back to cannibalization. Now, I'll split it over 2 weeks, and there's a good reason for that, because when it comes to cannibalization, and I grabbed this from my whiteboard, when it comes to cannibalization, what we have here is a 3-part story. The 3 chapters include identifying it, fixing it, and preventing it. Preventing it is what we're going to look at next time, and that's the area in pink there. But today, it's all going to be about identifying it and fixing it, because I guarantee every single one of you who is dialed in is suffering from some form of cannibalization. Okay. Oh yes, we've got some. We got questions in the chat. Hello from Wisconsin, Rebecca. Rebecca, hi. So much. So pleased. Yeah, I love prizes. says Charlie. Well, Charlie, hold on, because I am going to be giving out prizes. Nice, says John. Hello, John. I knew you'd be there. John Sharman, that is. Right. Okay, so let's focus really on today. Identification and fixing of this problem that causes so much of our content never to make it or to drop off page 1. So what is cannibalization? Well, as we all know, maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't heard of it. I'm sure you've all heard of it, but there's a lot of misconception about what it is. So the first thing to say is that it's not a duplicate content penalty. There is no such thing in Google's eyes as a duplicate content penalty. But what is true and what we're certain of is that Google is becoming increasingly sensitive to content of a similar nature. And when I say similar, that can just mean similar title tags. That can cause you conflict, and that can mean that your content will simply drop off page 1 for those terms. And I'm going to use the words conflict and cannibalization interchangeably because they are the same thing. And we're allowed to do that at Pi because we discovered this phenomenon almost 20 years ago, long before anyone knew it existed. Point 1, not many people get this, but cannibalization is a keyword thing. It's not necessarily a content thing, it's a keyword thing. So you can have 2 pieces of content that will suffer from cannibalization for one keyword and not another. Take 2 articles or 2 pieces of content about men's blazers, linen blazers, cotton blazers. There is no conflict for linen blazers because this is a linen blazers page, and if we title it correctly, it won't conflict with the cotton and vice versa. However, both of these pages can conflict, for example, for men's blazers if we haven't made it clear which is the doorway into our world. So remember that, it's a keyword thing. Okay, yeah, I'm just watching some more comments. It's a keyword thing. More comments. Let me know where you're from, guys. Anyway, back into cannibalization. The main types of cannibalization. There are, in actual fact, 4 types of cannibalization, but we're only going to talk about 3 today. The 4th one, the rather mysterious semantic flux, I'm going to save for another time, but I want to talk about 3 here, but we're going to focus on 1. Cannibalization, internal. That's the one we're going to focus on today. There is also international cannibalization, which is a completely separate kettle of fish, and that is all to do with hreflang, mainly. Okay, maybe we'll talk about that another day. And then we've got subdomain conflict. And would you believe people are still using subdomains? Subdomains for mobile sites. I actually saw one earlier, and I've got an example here. And also subdomains for things like help dot. So I've got one example of subdomain conflict, but in the main, what we really want to talk about today is internal conflict or cannibalization that is generally caused by 1 or more of 4 things. So what causes cannibalization or internal conflict? One of these, or more of them, overlapping theme. When you've got 2 pages that are too similar from an SEO theming perspective. And when we talk about theming, what are we talking about? URL, title, header 1, meta description, content, but we're chiefly talking about the title. And if you have titles that are too similar, regardless of the content, chances are you're going to suffer from cannibalization. Authority injection. I got a great example, and I'll call them out. It was HSBC Bank. They used to be on page 1 for Best Bank. Brilliant. And then suddenly they vanished. Why did they vanish? Because that piece of content, that page was cannibalized. It was their homepage. It was cannibalized by a PDF. A PDF that got loads of links from universities around the country who were actually promoting that page from the student union as a great student bank account. That PDF, despite it being a PDF, got tons of authority, enough authority to rob them of that page 1 position, but not enough for this PDF to go up any further because it couldn't compete. Great example of authority injection. Poor internal linking. If you're not consistent with your internal links, you will suffer from cannibalization. And finally, if you optimize non-contextually, then the chances are you're going to suffer from cannibalization. I'm covering that next week with contextual optimization. Right now, I just want to ask you guys, do you think you suffer from cannibalization? So let's run this poll. Let me see what you say. So you can either choose yes, I do, and that's why I'm here, to learn how to clear it up. No, I'm confident my content doesn't conflict, or that's what I'm here to find out. Do we have the results? Oh, okay, that's interesting. 75% of you said yes. Amazing. Well, you've come to the right place. Nobody said no. And I tell you what, if anybody said no, I was going to challenge you and say, okay, well, give me your domain, and I promise you a prize if I cannot find cannibalization. And then finally, 25% say that's what I'm here to find out. And if you're wondering if you are, drop me an email before the next session and I will take a look. Okay, I'll take the first 10 that come through. Okay, who else have we got? We got Zoran from Serbia. We've got Thea from Idaho. Sunny California, is that? We got people from all over. So anyway, welcome guys. Don't worry, you're not too late. Okay, so thank you for the poll. Now, when we're trying to discover cannibalization, we need to get good at reading the data. And I've got lots of examples of cannibalization in this presentation, and including, I tell you what, if you are from the US and you can see the tab on my screen there, notice in the tabs, Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon. We've also got Home Depot, as you say in America. We call them Home Depot here, but they're Home Depot in the US. So if you want to see what's behind those tabs, then just drop something in the chat or the question, and I will reveal some horrendous cannibalization coming from the US. Let's learn how to read the data. Okay, some examples. Are they cannibalization or are they not? Because there's a lot of confusion. Here's the first one, courtesy of Cosmopolitan magazine, that well-known magazine and purveyor of affiliate products. And we're looking at makeup ideas. So that's a high volume term. And look at their visibility over the past 30 days. Page 2, page 1, page 3, page 1, page 2. Goodness me, could this be cannibalization? You can't tell by looking at a chart like that. We need to take a step further. So we reveal in this next slide, we reveal that there are multiple URLs appearing over time. That's not one URL. We've got 3. We've got A, B, and C. 3 URLs over 30 days. Something's not right here. But is it cannibalization? Let's look at the pages. Okay, makeup ideas. So we've got 21 makeup tips. We've got 40 Halloween makeup ideas. It's not even Halloween, is it? We've got 10 cloud makeup ideas, and all of these have one thing in common. In the page title, they talk about makeup ideas. The question is this cannibalization? This is your second poll. Tell me what you think by looking at this data so far. Yes, no, or I have no idea. Ad from Gloucester. Hello, Ad. Not sure if I've been to Gloucester. Yes, I have. Okay, the results are in. 55% yes, 20% no, 24% I have no idea. Thank you for your honesty, your honest answers there. And to be honest, looking here at this stage, I would say I've got no idea. You cannot tell until you dig more deeply. Let's look at what's behind A, B, and C. Okay, so what is it? This looks a bit more interesting. So it turns out that A is a classic link. It's a piece of content. B is an image from another page. C is an image. Is it conflict? Is it cannibalization? We still don't know, because you can have image cannibalization. I'm going to show you an amazing example towards the end. So how do we know? We need to go to the chart. We need to look at the chart to find out. And here we have it. Let me explain this chart. The line in blue That was A. That's the classic content. They are never getting onto page one with that piece of content that's not optimized well enough. But what is happening here is that occasionally one of their images appears in the image block. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So this is not cannibalization, but it's something they need to rectify. So if Good Housekeeping, yeah, this was Good Housekeeping, yeah. If they want to actually get onto page one, then they need to think about the optimization of their page. Or what they should do is optimize their images better, so at least they have stable image visibility. But this is not cannibalization. Let's look at something that is. Okay, and we call this one suspicious flux. And each one of these examples of cannibalization has a name attached to it. And suspicious flux is something I came up with back in the day. What does it look like? Well, any line that moves in this sort of manner is suspicious. This doesn't happen for no reason. This is Amazon. Amazon, if you're searching for plain leather bags. How's Amazon doing for plain leather bags? Well, it's not doing very well. It's either on page one, or it's on page two, or it's on page three, or it's back on page one. So we always look behind the line because that's the domain. That's Amazon.com when we look, or .co.uk actually. I'll show you .com in a bit. What's going on? It's classic internal conflict or cannibalization. Here we have 6 separate pages, all conflicting, all competing with each other for this single search term, plain leather bags. What do these URLs look like? Our numbers are going up. Welcome to those who've just arrived. You're not too late to see some shocking examples of cannibalization. Look at these pages. Here we have it. So we got competing with each other, the leather shoulder bag, the black leather bag, the crossbody bag. We've got a white bag, we've got a school bag, and we've got a soft leather bag. And all the while, we don't make a decision and we leave it up to Google, they will never have a consistent visibility on page one for that term. What do these pages look like? Here you go. In their own right, these pages might position. So remember that, it's a keyword thing. So for example, black leather crossbody bag, Amazon are on page one, but they are not on page one for plain leather bags. It's a keyword thing. So the question is, and if I was talking to Amazon right now, the question is, dear Jeff, do you want to position for plain leather bags? If you do, then we need to fix this. And I'll show you how in a bit. If you don't, then maybe don't worry about it unless you start losing visibility for those individual bag terms. So you got a choice to make. Now, let's look at another example. Oh dear, somebody was making money selling iPad Pros. Now they're not. Let's take a look and see who it is. And of course, you've seen my presentations before. You might be familiar with Argos, our old friends at Argos. If you want to find conflict, look no further than going to Argos because it's everywhere. And there they were for iPad Pro 11-inch. We'd all love an iPad Pro 11-inch, wouldn't we? But we're not going to find one online from Argos because they're on page 2 or even page 3. And why is that? Is it cannibalization? That's the question. Let's dig behind the line and see what's going on. Ooh, what do we have here? Okay, we've got another URL from the same domain. What's highlighted in red there? Well, we've got some clustering. Clustering, you may think it's good, but Google doesn't. If you're old enough to remember Matt Cutts, probably 15 years ago, he said, we're trying to stop clustering because we want to increase diversity in the SERP. Having 2 results from the same domain is not diversity, it is clustering, and it often leads to conflict. But is this cannibalization? What do we think? Let's have a quick poll. It's our final poll. Then you can relax, drink tea, and talk about cannibalization. So, what happened to the iPad Pro 11-inch page? Does Google prefer another page? Maybe that's cannibalization. Have they redirected the old page to the wrong one? Or have they done something else? Let's see what you think. Okay, results are in. Most people, 44%. Google prefers another page. We got 22% redirect to the wrong page, 33% something else. Well, 33%. Well done, you guys. That was a tough one because it could have been anything really. It's an absolute corker. Just when you were making money at the top of page one, we got a 404. They've just dropped that page. It's a 404, and then Google is returning another page, the second best page that was clustering previously. So this isn't cannibalization. So what do you need to do when you see something like that? Number one, always check for redirects to the new page. So with the redirect toolbar, okay, or plugin, we can see there is no redirect. Nobody's redirecting this. We are leaving it up to Google to decide, well, that page is on 404. So what's my second best page that's not quite good enough? And try loading the old page. Those two things. We try loading the old page and we've got a 404. Oh dear, somebody's not making money from their iPad Pros. Here is an absolute corking example. Now, if you're from the US, have a look at this. I love this one. I've called it When You Vanish. When you vanish. Now, we're all familiar with the affiliate market. There is no finer affiliate selling electrical products than Good Housekeeping. So this is the American site. We're looking at Google Mobile here in the US. And I've got stacks of examples of these. Literally, I was spoiled for choice, but I wanted an absolute clanger. Best humidifier for bedroom. And there they were. They were actually in position 1 last week. Raking in the money, literally humidifiers flying off the shelves and people sending their money. And these things, I tell you, aren't cheap because I looked at it. And then suddenly they dropped. Suddenly they've dropped. Is this cannibalization? Could it be? Hell, absolutely it is. Look at that little URL in green there. They've got 2 conflicting pages. 2 conflicting pages. Let's take a look and see how similar these pages are, and let's see how sensitive Google is to content of a similar nature. I have got a question, just trying to work out. Can you explain the step-by-step in the platform? I will explain that in a little bit, but thank you for that. So I'll take some time towards the end and demonstrate it. Okay, but back to this example. Let's have a look and see how similar these pages are and how sensitive is Google. Look at that. One is the affiliate page, 5 best humidifiers of 2023. Every single click on one of those and a sale is money to Good Housekeeping. Suddenly they're not making money, and I know how much these affiliates make. You know, they do really well out of that because the page that's conflicting is how to clean a humidifier. And if you don't know that you've got that cannibalization, you're just going to assume that you've lost your visibility. You're just going to assume. You've got another question, hold on a second. You're going to assume that you've lost your visibility. But if you're aware of it, you can take action to fix this. And the action to fix that immediately, I would suggest the use of a good internal link from this page to that one, and also a technique called downgrading the theme, which I'm going to talk about shortly. So there are 2 things that you can apply to fix this and start making money again. But right now we are losing money as a result of this conflict. What is the long-term effect? And this is from Tia, forgive me for the mispronunciation. What's the long-term effect of cannibalization on your site? Well, I tell you what, looking at the top e-commerce sites in the UK, 40% of the lost opportunity in content sitting on pages 2 and 3 of Google right now is based on cannibalization. If you don't fix it, if you don't identify the patterns, things generally tend to get worse, and you end up with this glass ceiling above which you cannot rise, because you look to see who performs really well at the top of page 1, and those sites do not suffer from conflict. Conflict gets pushed down onto page 2 and onto page 3. So thank you. That was a wonderful question. Let's take a look at another. When you redirect to the wrong page, it looks like cannibalization, but it's not. And the reason I'm showing these examples is because so many people get these mixed up. Okay, Argos. It's our friends at Argos again. It's our friends at Argos who are making money by being at the top of page 1 of Google Mobile in this case, for tablet PC. And then suddenly their visibility goes berserk. Look at that. Nobody wants that. That line looks like a heart attack for a good reason, because if you were responsible for that page, you'd probably be having a heart attack when you looked at that. Let's see what's going on behind the line. Always look behind the line. Here we can see we've got a separate page. Now, they've redirected the old one, the tablet PC page, to the new one. But they didn't do it very well because they redirected to the wrong page. And when they do the correct 301 but to the wrong page, that's not themed around tablet PC, but it's themed around multiple products, you cannot expect to get the same visibility. So lesson, do not assume that a 301 redirect will maintain your position if the new content is not as relevant as the original. Relevancy is still key. Creating content that meets the intent of the audience is still crucial, because page 1 is still nothing more than a manifestation of searcher intent. Okay, here's one that we discovered last week. And I've anonymized it because I was with a client last week and we had a meeting. We found something really strange going on. Something really strange. So this is the visibility of this client for the Met Gala. The Met Gala, it's coming up on Monday. Yes, we're all excited about the Met Gala. Yep, this Monday evening, 6 p.m. if you're in the US. And look at their visibility. Oh my goodness, and we've got A and B, so we've got 2 URLs or 2 separate entities appearing in the SERP. What's B? Looks like B is pulling A down. Looks like B is pulling, wow, it's an image. My goodness, is this an example of an image cannibalizing classic content? Well, before you say yes, because it isn't, dig into the SERP. Always dig into the SERP. And the day that you drop, look at the visibility. Look at the visibility. This is what we found. Look at that in green. It's another domain. Now, I've seen plenty of examples of one domain stealing content from another and taking their visibility, because despite what Google says, they don't know who came first. You can steal a piece of content from one site, put it on yours, and you can actually get them kicked out. But that wasn't it. This was international conflict. Okay, so in the absence of hreflang, you can get international conflict. But when you think about that previous chart, the UK domain just dropped to the next best position, and that just happened to be an image. So it wasn't image conflict. It did look like it, so it was international. I've got 2 more examples before we move into the fixes. The next example is inline conflict, and this is the one where people say, you know what, John, does it really matter? Does it matter? Because I'm actually on page 1. I think I'm doing okay. There we go. This is Boots. Hello out there, if you're from Boots. Okay, I know somebody out there is from Boots. I know somebody out there is from Boots. So this looks great, and this is for lash serum. Now, we all love a bit of lash serum. Yeah, everyone loves a bit of lash serum. So Boots are quite delighted, I'm sure, because they're on page 1 for lash serum. But again, always look behind the line, because especially when you see a little bit of flux like this, again, it doesn't happen for no reason. This isn't caused by SERP features, as it so often is. What's causing this flux here? Let's look. at the pages or the content behind this line. Oh, wow, what have we got? We got two. We've actually got two different pieces of content returning. So we've got the one in pink and the one in green. Sometimes we'll have coexistence or clustering, but always be careful, always beware of clustering, because invariably it leads to conflict. And as you look towards the end of that chart, that big spike in pink, that's an alternative page. What do these pages look like when you see them in the SERP? Well, here, they look like that. So while we celebrate clustering, what we should in fact be celebrating is a more diverse SERP portfolio. And by that I mean, don't go chasing two classic links, because that often ends in tears. Sometimes you'll lose both of them. Chase a classic link, an answer card, an image, a video even. Chase multiple doorways into your ecosystem through different features, but just chase one classic link, or it may end up in tears as it did there. And when I say tears, if somebody's looking one day, let me go back to that chart, and I'm looking for lash serum, and I happen to go through Google and I land in Boots' page, I may not buy. But if I come back the next day and I land on a different page, I think that's a bit strange, because yesterday I thought there was a different result and now there's another one. It's like having different doorways into your high street shop where the audience ends up in a different part of the shop. It can be confusing, it's uncoordinated, it's haphazard and potentially inconsistent. So, but just be aware, clustering can lead to conflict. Now, my final example before I quickly show, tell me if anybody from the US wants to see those absolute howlers while I ask the question, is it time for tea? And of course, if you're from England, it's definitely time for tea because it's 3:30 on a Friday if you're watching this live. And if you are indeed British, what do you always have to accompany your tea? Well, a rich tea biscuit. I'm sure you have these in the US as well. Maybe you dip different biscuit, but we like to dip a rich tea into our tea. Now, one company, however, is not going to be selling their rich tea biscuits online because they're suffering from cannibalization. That's Morrison's. And if you're out there, Morrison's, hello, love your rich tea biscuits, by the way. Now, but I can't find them online. I can't find them because look at this chart. So as I search for these rich tea biscuits, they're generally at the bottom of page 2, sometimes on page 3, and occasionally making an appearance on page 1. Got some more questions there, so I'm going to take a look at those in a second. So what's going on? Now this one is very strange, and there's a reason I've put the image of the biscuits in there is because of this. Let's look at those URLs and the properties associated with them. So A and C are classic links. McVitie's rich tea biscuits. What's B? What's gaining the highest position and causing the conflict potentially? That's an image. So this is a classic, it's a beautiful example of an image there, highlighted in purple, the purple line that every time, and the image block is always there. This is not the image block coming in and out, this is an image going into the block. So this is an image that appears in the block and it's actually causing conflict and pushing the rest of Morrison's content down on those days that the image appears. So who'd have thought? We've seen it with plenty of images, haven't seen it with videos, I haven't seen it with other features. So if any of you have, just let me know. I'm just going to stop for a couple of questions. So let me just take a look at these. If I can scroll and move on to here. Bear with me. Try technology. Can't handle the technology. Okay. Steve says, do all internal links need to be updated when a page is redirected, or can you rely on the redirect to cover that? Short answer, you don't need to update them, but you know what? It's probably good practice to do that because you'll be chasing through a redirect. So I would much prefer you to actually redirect the link and check the nature of the link and the anchor text. Does it still align with the new page? Rebecca asks, how do you chase classic links and images? Oh, Rebecca, oh my goodness, if only we had all afternoon. I can show you a great example where people have actually chased the classic link, the image, the answer card, and a video all on one page. It's quite possible. And in our episode 3, when we look at features, come back for that. I'm going to show you how to own that landscape. Okay, Julia, how do you fix the clustering issue? Okay. Number one, you monitor the clustering, you look at the extent of it, and you look at the patterns of it. And then what we need to try and do is transfer the clustering so you're clustering away from classic links into features. And I'm going to cover that in episode 3. So please come back for that one. I love those questions. Any more questions, drop them in. What I might do is offer a prize. I'll search my shed for a prize. Could be a bottle of wine, could be something crazy like, for example, my Hoberman sphere, which I promised not to get out in this webinar, so I'll put that away. Sorry to everybody who I promised. But yeah, any good questions, we'll give away a prize and I will just get that sent out to you. So anybody from America want to see what's happened to Walmart, Best Buy, Home Depot, and Amazon? The absolute shocking downfall thanks to conflict. I'll wait for you to ask before I show you. But right now, let's move into the next part on how to identify it. And identifying it, if you've got Pi, okay, that's my platform plug, it's actually relatively straightforward because it takes care of that for you. And we have this wonderful conflict detector that not only detects week by week the amount of conflict, but shows you from whereabouts in your site you're suffering the most. And in this place, or in this particular instance, this online beauty retailer has got lots of conflict when it comes to makeup, general and accessories, less when it comes to nails, an awful lot when it comes to makeup and lips. So you can actually start to see which parts of your content ecosystem are suffering, and then you can jump straight from there to find out what's going on. And my word, this is Feel Unique. When it comes to smoky eyes, there's all sorts of problems here. And you know what? Look at that. Look at that in purple. That's M.dot. I haven't seen a M.dot mobile subdomain in years. That's the only reason I put this in here, to remind me of the good old days of mobile subdomains that should be canonical back to the main domain to stop this happening. But either way, they still got conflict. So you can go straight from that report into here. And of course, in the platform, you can have these wonderful conflict reports that can actually rank your conflict by the search volume, or they can rank it by the amount of conflict. Look at this. This is insane. Buy mascara online. You know what this domain has got? They got 2 URLs and they have changed position 27 times in the past 30 days. One or other has been the top. Eyeshadow makeup. It's like an ECG. 24 switches of position, 15, 13. There's a lot of conflict here because this site is not making it clear to Google which page to return. So now, thank you. Literally, I think only 2 people have dropped out, which is an absolute delight. That's not an excuse for anybody to drop out now, because now we're going to talk about how to fix cannibalization. Okay, I'm still waiting for somebody from America who wants to see what's happened to Walmart and Best Buy and Home Depot and Amazon. Those charts are just shocking. Anyway, we'll wait for that. How do you fix it? Well, first thing you've got to do is make a decision. We've got to make 2 decisions. Decision number 1, do you actually want to be visible for the term in question? And if the answer to that is yes, then you get on and make your second decision. by looking at the pages in conflict. And you've got to decide which one of these do you want to be the doorway into your world. And if it's not one of those, do you need another one? Simple as that. You make that decision. Do you want to be visible, and what do you want to be the doorway? And here's an example. And I pulled this example because I think it was this time last week I recorded a Whiteboard Friday, and I panicked because I didn't know what to talk about when it came to cannibalization. So I used linen blazers, or I used men's blazers as an example. So you might have 3 pieces of content that are conflicting or in a state of cannibalization for the phrase men's blazers. So you Google men's blazers, and one day your linen blazers is there, one day cotton, one day summer. There could be loads of them, but we got 3 here. You need to make a decision, but before you do anything, what you absolutely have to do is check the visibility of those pages in their own right. So for the linen blazers page, does it position, for example, for men's linen blazers, lightweight blazers, non-cotton blazers? And if it's visible and it's giving you traffic, then that will affect what you do. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Check, do they position in their own right for either a classic link or a feature? Maybe the images from that page are present. Think about that as well. We then have our cannibalization toolkit to work with. And I so wanted to put an image. On here, but I couldn't find one. And I'm rubbish at images anyway. So cannibalization toolkit, of which there are 6 key tools or ingredients. And either one or a combination of these, I guarantee, is going to fix your cannibalization once you've identified it. Number 1, okay, the first thing that you can do is downgrade the theming of the page. Remember, I mentioned theming at the start. URL, title, header 1, meta description. Let's just talk about the title. And let me give you an example of what I mean by downgrading the theming. So we got 3 pages there: linen blazers, cotton blazers, men's summer blazers. The term that they are conflicting for is men's blazers. Okay. If we think that the title, for example, of the summer blazers is too similar, because the title tag is most likely to result in conflict, then downgrade it. In this case, we may want to change it from men's summer blazers to summer blazers for the stylish man. Why not indeed? That's got a ring to it, hasn't it? Then it's not going to conflict with your men's blazers page. Okay. Now, having done that, having downgraded the theme of that page by diluting the title, we can then link to it to tell Google in no uncertain terms that this is about summer blazers and not men's blazers. So downgrade the theme. It's the first, the easiest, and the most obvious thing to do, but do check whether these pages position in their own right. Second weapon in your anti-cannibalization toolkit, merge in 301. Okay, and quite often people do this when they've got 2 or 3 that are conflicting. Do you really need separate pages? Having checked that this page isn't delivering traffic and positioning in its own right, merge them together, merge them with a new page, and then 301 to channel authority. And that works really successfully. It's a very quick fix. All of these fixes will result in the elimination of conflict overnight, within 24 hours. I guarantee your money back. Here's another one. 301 older content to your chosen doorway. So we've got linen blazers, cotton blazers, summer blazers. Maybe we decide that we want summer blazers to be the doorway page. Then what we do is we boost the authority of that page. Remember the authority injection we spoke about? Let's use that to our advantage, because PageRank is still fundamentally one of the strongest parts of Google's algorithm. Let's leverage authority. And if you want to find some old pages on your site, and you will have them, then look no further than the site operator. This is all you need to do. Put in site : your domain. Men's blazers, that's what we want to position for. That's what's causing the conflict. And then in inverted commas, you can put 2019. You can use Boolean logic, 2019 or 2018 or 2017. And I guarantee this content will come out. And if it's old, you can redirect it, unless it's getting a decent amount of traffic still. It doesn't have to be men's blazers. It could be a derivative. It could be men's fashion. It could be men's style for this season or this year, which is obviously out of date. Redirect, leverage authority. I'm talking of redirecting. There's nothing more powerful than internally linking. Internally linking to the page that you want to be your doorway from the conflicts. So we got 2 or 3 conflicting pages there. Take 2 of them, link from there to your doorway page. We title that men's blazers and use the anchor text men's blazers. And I guarantee that will work within 24 hours. Now the next one, I was talking with a client the other day and they have a large horoscope section on their site. My goodness, there's cannibalization up to their armpits, cannibalization everywhere. It's like a cannibalization party, which nobody really wants to go to because nobody gets away alive. But in this case, horoscopes. A simple solution to that, because they wanted the previous day's horoscopes available, because apparently people are interested in yesterday's horoscope. Because if today's gone pear-shaped, you want to see maybe what happened yesterday. Was that true to the horoscope? A good idea here was to actually no index. So people can still find it from the site. So effectively we're archiving it, we're no indexing it, but it's still accessible. So it can't be found in Google. So it's going to be, you can no index follow it. So we're still getting the authority from those followed links, but that would effectively take it out of the cannibalization equation. And then the final one, which I'm going to illustrate with an example, okay, is to make a hub page. So if we think about our blazers, linen blazers, cotton blazers, summer blazers, but we want one of these to position for men's blazers. Well, why on earth not make a hub page? And let's adopt a hub and spoke method. And again, this is pretty foolproof. So we're combining building a hub with linking. Those 2 things alone are incredibly powerful. And I've seen so many clients fix their cannibalization with this approach, a hub and spoke. Sometimes it means that you have to break things a little to create a new page. You have to break out of the current hierarchy, but it works so well. This is what it kind of looks like. So we've got a new page there because we've decided that we don't want any of these existing pieces of content to position for men's blazers, because you know what? They all position in their own right. They all get traffic, they're all generating revenue. So we make a new page and then we link up to that with the blue links. You know what the anchor text is? Men's blazers. Because we're telling Google, in no uncertain terms, that page is about men's blazers. We then link down from men's blazers to linen blazers. The anchor text is men's linen blazers, men's cotton blazers, men's summer blazers. And here we're using internal links and well-themed links to leave Google and your audience in no doubt as to what the destination is. The orange links, those are horizontal links, super powerful. So why should not summer link to cotton with the anchor text? See our cotton blazers. Linen links to cotton, see our cotton blazers. So we're passing this authority. And this way we are just saying to Google, making it super clear to this poor befuddled robot, that's what these pages are all about. And of course, when we inject men's blazers, this new content in as our hub, let's get some complementary links. Let's get some complementary links to boost the authority of it, in addition to those other links that we're going to do from the spoke pages. And how do we find those complementary links? With this. I've got about 20 questions. I'm going to jump to those in a bit. Okay, site : mysite.com, in inverted commas, men's blazers, or what the heck, men's fashion. What should men wear this year? All that complementary content. Inject some links and point towards that new hub page, and that's going to eliminate it. So I'm going to go to questions in a second. There's like about 30 there. So thank you for your questions. Key takeaways. Key takeaways. You have got cannibalization. Nobody said no, so we all know that. Let's just admit it. It's Friday afternoon. We've got cannibalization. What the heck? You can go to a pub, but at least Monday you can go and fix it. It works at keyword level, which is why it's important to track multiple keywords. You need to make the decision. Don't think it's going to away. No, it's not going to go away. It's only going to get worse. Make the decision which piece of content you want to be the doorway into your world. And finally, yeah, it absolutely can be prevented. So I just want to move into some questions, hopefully. Oh my goodness, yeah, I'm just going to move it onto my main screen off my iPad. I want to see what happened to them. Thea, oh my goodness, yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you. I love to see the US says Rebecca. The US company chart says Rebecca. I'm from Philadelphia, and I want to see what happened to Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy. Okay, Mark, yes. I'm from the New York City. Amelia, I love New York City. I haven't been there for years. Last time I was there, I was nearly run over by a police car, but that's a whole other story. I was actually riding that longboard there in Central Park. Never do that. Highly dangerous. Maria wants to know. Rebecca wants to know. Tell us about Donna Marie, Darcy, digital nomad from the US. Okay, Oklahoma, Maria, Mark. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look. These are too good. Now, here's Walmart. Oh dear, what's happened to Walmart? Look on the left. That's going down. Every single one of these. And trust me, it only took me 15 seconds to build each one of these charts, all going down. Look at the end. It doesn't matter whether you are searching for a desktop, Apple, Mac, occasionally on page one, massive conflict. Okay, Kindle, Fire, HD, all of these. Look at the table. As we come down to the table, desktop, Apple, Mac, what I'm presenting on now, they've got 5 URLs and it's changed the top position 10 times. My goodness, big iPads. Who doesn't want a big iPad? Well, you're not going to get one from Walmart because they got 19 changes. Let's have a look. Are they going to be selling big iPads? Oh, not a chance. Let's take a look at Best Buy. Oh my word, look at that. Dropping. These are like steroids. This is like being caught in a violent downpour, but only it's your content, your visibility, probably your revenue. Probably couldn't say this in the US, could I? Probably be had up on some sort of charge. Fitbit, Ionic, they're not selling those. Google Home, we all want a Google Home, but no, you've got to be on page one to sell your Google Home. Home Depot, or Depot in the UK, look at that again, just dropping down, literally 15 seconds to find all of these. Home speakers, no, small speaker stands, smart TV accessories, classic internal conflict. Amazon.com, look at that gradual shift downwards. This is why internal conflict or cannibalization is so problematic, but it's so easy to fix if only you can identify the causes of it. Look at that. Okay, iPad sizes, best cheap laptop. Okay, 8,200 average monthly searches. Oh my goodness, best gaming laptop. Look at that, 95,000 average monthly searches. Let's take a look at the best gaming laptop. Good grief. Okay, so we got F. We got six pages in conflict there. And again, these you could just pick on anyone. These are just some great examples. Okay, I just want to look at some other questions. If you have several similar products, this is Julia Black. If you've got several similar products and you want Google to pick them all up, how do you bypass the cannibalization issue? More than likely, you want to go for the hub and the spoke. Each one of those, Julia, can position in their own right, okay, because they have authority channeled down and they channel authority up. So it's, yeah, so that would definitely work. Okay, Charlie, can you bring back old, well-ranking archive pages to 301 to build authority? Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Honest to goodness, you know, 301s are so good. And if you've got a whole bunch to choose from, then go to those ones that were closer to ground level. They'll have more authority. Charlie, again, to cannibalize pages. That's the second part of the question. John, befuddled robot. Who doesn't love a befuddled robot? Rebecca, is it possible to rank for classic link and an image for the same keyword? Absolutely yes. Oh my goodness, you've got to come to session 3 for that. So just got a few minutes left. I should do my due diligence and just round this session off nicely. And pretty much everybody's still there. So thank you for staying around. 2 weeks time. I was going to have a session next week, but my birthday, so I'm having a week off. Going to go nuts. We're going to talk about in 2 weeks time how to stop this from happening in the first place. You know how you stop it? We use this process called contextual optimization, of which your ecosystem is one of the key pillars. So I'm going to show you how we can analyze our ecosystem, identify the potential conflicts, leverage the complements, and turn one into the other, and just stop this from happening, as well as make sure every piece of content that goes into our ecosystem performs brilliantly. John, thank you very much, my friend. Then we're going to talk about SERP features. Several people have asked how to own as much real estate as possible, and how to just forget that zero SERP or that zero click myth. We're going to dispel it. If you didn't come to Brighton SEO, boy, have you got a treat. If you did, you're going to have even more of a treat. And then in the 4th session, we're going to show how we can use ChatGPT to actually make our lives so much easier in SEO. Unless anybody wants to talk about anything else. And if you've got any other suggestions, then please do reach out between now and then. Hook up with me on LinkedIn. If you've got any questions or you got any problems that you want aired in SEO, of course, then send me an email as well. I'm sure the details are in here somewhere, but that just leaves me time to say, hang on, I've got one more slide. Of course, all of this data comes courtesy of Datametrics, of which I am the chief product evangelist. And honestly, if you want a demo of this platform, if you're not from Pi and you haven't seen it and you're not using this software, then just reach out and we'll get somebody to show you how this works, how you can identify cannibalization, and how you can really dominate the search landscape, understand your performance, your competitors, and really kill it online. Can't believe I just said that. But anyway, just want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for hanging around for the whole of this Friday afternoon or morning, depending on where you're from. And I'll see you all in 2 weeks' time. So have a wonderful afternoon and evening. Thanks, guys.